Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear my voice loud and clear. Good morning. Yeah, good. So we are happy to be back once again with all of you on this webinar series. And I hope sincerely that all of you are enjoying it and benefiting from these inputs that we are sharing with you. One of the main motivation forces for Bhawisha and me for doing events like these is really opening up horizons for everybody. Yeah. And that's something which is very exciting. There have been so many cases that have given us good results over a period of time, over so many years. And when people come back and tell you the changes that they have experienced that they hadn't, with all fancy stuff that they're doing, you realize the value of grounded work and how grounded work really benefits people in the long run. And we both sincerely feel that this work has to be shared with all of you so that all of you can give similar or better results in your clinical practice. Because the ideas and logic and the philosophy of the science has to be implemented right. Homeopathy being a philosophical science, it's not mechanical. It's a science with beautiful philosophy. And the moment we have got a philosophy involved, the approach to implement that philosophy can vary. That's the beauty with philosophy, is that it opens up modes and techniques of application. And hence we have got so many techniques and applications of the same philosophy with good results. And the work that we are doing is simplistic, logically, strong, and has got a lot of connection with our own system of medicine, which makes it very clear and tells us the connection between the various things that we hear from different science, from philosophy, from Indian philosophy, and what we have got from the West. So this is a beautiful combination where you see that the holistic approach really takes you further. And in this endeavor, we had our first session just a few weeks ago, maybe 3-4 weeks back. And today is our second session where we will take you back again to the map that we are working on and share with you the logic behind the various levels that we have created. And believe me, friends, in my cases, wherever I have gone wrong over the last few years, there are many failures. I've been able to pinpoint an area where I missed out the most was the level. That I realized that, oh my God, I haven't been getting the level right. And then once I'm able to tune and turn my level, my results have been great. So here we'll be taking the levels further, share more about it, and help you all to find the level in all your cases. Yeah?
Good. So, yes, first of all, good morning to everyone. As Shachindra said, we will be teaching you the map, or we will be giving you glimpses, of remedies and how they are plotted on the map. I already explained to you in the last session how important it is to have a certain navigation system or a certain map in the materia medica, which helps us to understand the patient as well, and which helps us to understand the not understand but connect the remedies or find the remedies to what we have understood in the patient. So we have two maps. In fact, we have one map, but that itself is used for case taking to understand the patient first, and then the remedies on that map are used to understand which one to give to the patient in the moment. Yeah. Last time I started with what are the basic levels of the map, because unless you know the levels, we cannot go further. Yeah. Believe me, once you know the levels, and once from the next session we start explaining you or giving you glimpses of certain remedies and how they are on the map or on these levels, you will start to fit the pieces together so quickly, and you will be able to find your own connections, and you will be able to easily plot remedies without much problem. Yeah. Um, you will see how connected and how easy the whole thing is. But the first step to that is to understand the levels, because the levels are the most important in navigation or in knowing how the map works. Yeah. A lot of people after the last session had questions and said, how are these levels different or similar to the levels by Jan Scholten and Michaela Yakir? Yes, of course, they don't call it levels at all. I would say, in fact, Jan was here in January when we did a seminar together, Jan and us, him doing the plants and us doing the animals. And then we had a lot of discussion. And as I saw his work, I haven't, I have through friends and others also seen Michaela Yakir's work, haven't had a personal discussion so far with her. But what I would say is that I don't think the three are so different, because the truth is the same. Yeah. So of course there are variations in each one of them. Yeah. And also that there will be a few differences, but by and large, we're all saying, or we are all finding the same levels for the same remedies. Yeah. Then there is another question I would say before I go further into my levels, is people keep asking, why don't you bring everything together? Why should there be different, you say levels and Jan says series and columns and stages and phases and subphases, and Yakir says something else. And so why don't you fuse everything together? Why should there be only one thing? Why shouldn't there be only one thing? And my answer to this would be, there is not one way to understand anything. If everything was just one, there would be only one continent, only one country, only one way of looking, only one religion, only one path. But it's not like that. And if there was only one way to do things, then we would never know other possibilities. Then we would only do it one way, and if we didn't get it, we would be totally stuck. Whereas when there are different ways, you can, if you're stuck with one way, you try another and then another, and you see something from various angles. In fact, I feel that all of us put or give or contribute various angles and various aspects to the same remedy or the same concept. And this is very important, because there is not just one way, my way or highway. Yeah, life doesn't work like that. Also, I would say that even with our understanding, when we give it to you, eventually you will find your own path. Yeah, you will use the information we give. You will use the map we give. You will use the concepts. You will imbibe it all. But each one, if you look at your own practice, You find your own little variation to do what you're doing. And that's how it should be, because we are human beings. We are not clones. If we clone, or if we become robots who only follow one thing, and in that way, we will come up with a lot of failures. So everyone finds their own path with the help of information given to them. Yeah. And Shachindra and I are basically very independent thinkers, and we like to have our own way of looking at things, and we like to encourage people to not follow blindly, or to not clone, or to not go for just one thing, but to look at a thing from different aspects and then find your own variation and go on your path. And this leads to much more success than anything else in the world.
I think along with what Bhawisha is just talking about finding path, what needs to be remembered and understood and really worked upon is that while we are charting our own path, we are very critical about our work. We are constantly analyzing and evaluating what we are doing. And that is able to help us chart us the path more, better, wider, clearer, and simplifying it for us. The other thing that happens, the one of the flip side of charting your own path, is that you shut yourself out for all inputs and ideas and views, and you feel that what you're doing is absolutely the truth. The analytical part in you has to be equally aware, because the more you are charting your way, the more there are chances of making mistakes, making errors, and the more scope for us to improve. So this aspect has to be really imbibed and what do you say, ingrained in ourselves while we are charting a path. Only then will your path be as successful as what we are doing, or maybe better than this. This is very important. The self-critical and self-analytical parts acts like the governor in your cases. Your results have to speak that. If you think that a patient has to improve from above downwards, within outwards, local, general to local, and you see that this thing is not happening, there is something amiss. What have you missed? Change that. Or if somebody else's prescription is worked and yours hasn't, look at the level and see, okay, was the level wrong? Where did you go wrong in your path? That will help you formulate and make it better with every case that you see.
Okay. So I had done a glimpse of the first 3 levels the last time, and I had to do the next 4 levels. Yeah. Just to do a little recap, the level, why is the level of the person very important? See, first of all, just let me tell you to make it simple for those of you who are joining new or who will be seeing this recording new. The levels are very similar to the 7 rows of the periodic table. And the idea that came to us was, it wasn't an idea, in fact, it was through retrospective. Retrospective meaning once a patient is better and once a case is successful, then you go back and you read the case. You try to see what in the case went so successfully. Yeah. Was it just a coincidence, or was there a lot more than coincidence to the success of the case? So the idea came to us retrospectively once we saw successful cases, that the grid of the 7 rows of the periodic table and the 18 columns is not just a grid that is confined to the mineral kingdom, and that the plants and that the animals and the imponderables, also nosodes, we are working on all of those, can all be individually classified and charted on the same grid of the 7 levels and 18 columns. Of course, it is slightly different. There are variations in each kingdom, because the plant and the animal kingdom are vast. They are almost 5 times that of the mineral kingdom. And therefore, the level of the grid, the same grid of the 7 rows of the periodic table and 18 columns is divided and redivided, but in the same pattern of 7 by 18 again and again and again. Okay? So, but the basic concept is to get the 7 rows perfectly well. The columns is not so difficult, and that is, I would say, finer differentiation. It's very important to know which level your patient belongs to, and therefore which plant, mineral, animal, nosode or imponderable you will give to the patient corresponding to that level. Okay. Now, each one of us has a story in our lives. Each one of us has a personality. Each one of us has goals we want to reach. They could be spiritual goals, they could be material goals, they could be relationship goals, they could be physical goals, all kinds of goals. But each one in their deep subconscious knows where they want to reach. Each one has problems in their situation with people around them. And each one has expectations from people around them. Each one has a capacity or an efficiency quotient that they can do at least this much. And each one has the desire or the feeling that they cannot do this much or that they want to do this much. Yeah. When you consider all of this, each one is also happy due to certain things in their life and unhappy due to certain things in their life. Now, when you take all of these factors into consideration, I would call it the story of the patient. Now, this is different than what we say in the sensation method as story and saying story is irrelevant. No. When I use the word story, I use it with a lot of importance and depth. The story of the patient is what makes the patient who he is. So I would say, it's very, very important because it helps me to plot the patient on the map. The goals you want to achieve, the relationship problems you have, the situations you are in, the frustrations you have, the successes you have. All of this are part of your story, and all of this help us to understand the level you are at. They make the level. We are all living our life in a certain or at a certain level. Some people are living their life and therefore they have their successes and failures, their relationship problems related to level 1. Some people are living in their life at level 6 and therefore their successes, their relationship, the way they see the world, their story, their failures, their goals are all related to the 6th level. You get my point? So the entire story of the patient, the entire personality of the patient helps you to come to the level. If you get the level right, then it's only a difference about whether you want to give a mineral, an animal, or a plant of that level, which is why I call it a map. A map is mineral M, animal A, plant P. It's very interesting. As Shachindra and I, we kept saying map, map, map. We've got a map. We need to now, refine this map. And then suddenly one day it struck to me. I said, Shachindra and we said, map is minerals, animals, and plants. No wonder it's got the word map. Yeah. So it's minerals, animals, and plants of a materia medica. Okay. So coming back to the levels. The first 3 levels, which we already did last time, I think we did the first 2. I want to speak a little bit more about level 3 because it's a very important level, and about, I would say, most, 70 to 80% of people dwell or live in level 3 and level 4. Most people are from this level, so it's a very important level, level 3 and then level 4. But I would say that as the human develops from the 1st to the 7th level, it's really, if you could compare it to a human development from conception until realization. I like to put that word, conception until not death, but conception until realization, where conception is 7 and conception is 1 and realization is 7. And realization takes you back to 1. So it's 1 looping back into 1 going to 7, which is looping back into 1. Now, the first level, as I told you last time, is more about people who are so unsure about themselves, so not conceived in this world, so not present in this world. And therefore, it's a level for people with a lot of emotional problems, people who have severe psychiatric ailments, people who have had difficulties in their childhood finding themselves, knowing themselves, who've had a very bad childhood maybe. And so they may be living their life, but they have no connection with reality. They have no connection with people around. They don't know who they are, what they are. You meet them and you can realize with a couple of conversations that they are totally spaced out, or that they have some kind of a disconnect between themselves and the world and between their perception and reality. Okay, very few you see in level 1, but you do see them. And you would see them in situations like this where there is a lot of disparity between the reality and between what's going on in their minds. Yeah, level 2 are much more grounded people. So level 1, I would say, are very up there. They're not grounded. Now level 2 is another level which I do see in patients as well. That's also a common level. However, not as much as 3 and 4. And level 2 are individuals. Now, there were some other doubts that people also had about where does the ego develop of the human being, or in which level does the ego develop? And I would say it develops more in level 3. But level 2 are people who cannot focus on their ego and on their personality because they are focusing on just what would be the right word? They are focusing on trying to stand on their own 2 feet. They are people who are feeling very vulnerable and very fragile to be on their own. And level 2 people are people who are, they can be 60-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 14-year-olds, whatever. But people who feel that they depend on the world, or they depend on another person for their survival, for their everyday needs. So they are very, very clingy individuals. Yeah. Very dependent individuals. You could also have the other side in level 2. Yeah. The successful individuals of level 2 are individuals who are focusing on doing it independently. Yeah. For example, if they would be people who are always trying to do things on their own because they fear they will not be able to do things on their own. So you can have the main focus is, let me do it on my own. Let me be on my own. Let me try to find on my own. You know, that on my own is a very big factor for level 2 people. Level 2 people, as I said last time as well, are people who are very, they like to sample a lot of things. Okay. But of course, you see sampling in level 5 and level 5 as well, much more. But the sampling in level 2 is a sampling of, I would say, stimulants. Yeah. Very primitive, basic desires. So they are sampling food, they are sampling clothes, you know, different fashions every time. They're sampling stimulants, they're sampling drugs, they're sampling alcohol. You know, they like to, they like to feel all these things because these are the things that give them also some kind of support. Yeah, as I told you, they are very clingy. So these things give them support. These things also give them a feel of the world around. Level 5 individuals, we'll come to that, are people who are trying to search. They are not trying to sample. So they are trying to search. They are trying, they're curious. They're looking. They're investigating. Level 2 people are not like that. But they're definitely people, I would say, who can get very, very easily addicted. Addictions is a big problem of level 2 as I see it. Because addiction also means looking for some kind of external support. Yeah. For example, a level 2 typical person is fluoric acid, or nitric acid. Just giving you examples so that you understand. Yeah. So there is always this craving for stimulants, craving for enjoyment, craving for food, craving for clothes, craving for things like that. So this is on the extreme of level 2, or there could be a feeling of a beggar, or a feeling of poverty, or a feeling I cannot do it on my own. There are these two things to level 2. It's level 3 from where a person starts to search for who he is, starts to make some boundaries, starts to realize or starts to question what his relationships are. Yeah, starts to see who he is in relationship to others around. And therefore level 3 individuals are kind of searching for their personality, searching for what they want, searching for who they are, what their role is in society. But this is not a very spiritual or a very deep search. This is just a search in terms of, in this given scenario or in this situation, who are my friends, who are my strangers, who are my foes, who are my well-wishers, what are my boundaries, where do I fit in this group? And this is where most people are. When people come to you in your case taking, you will always find that they're talking about their partners or their friends or their relationships or their childhood. Level 3 people are also people. In fact, we ask childhood to all patients, but it's the level 3 people who are very, very connected and clear and remember their childhood. Because this is, so I would say level 3 is kind of, it's kind of, you could compare it to the age group between toddler to teenager. That entire level spans the growth from toddler to teenager, where a person is searching for who they are in the group. And by the end, by teenage, you know who you are. You're rebellious, you get out, you want to do it on your own. Then comes the adult, which is the level 4. Okay. So in level 3 people also, you will see a lot of people are always talking about the misunderstandings they have with their partner, with their family, with their mother, with their brother, with their boss, whatever. Level 3 is all about, do I understand people? Do people understand me? Do I love people? Do people love me? Do people neglect me? Who am I? Where am I? What is my orientation in this group? A lot of the mammals come in level 3. A lot of the lilies come in level 3. The Liliaceae family, yeah? Lilium tigrinum, Crocus sativus, Allosocrutina, yeah? Allium cepa, Allium sativa. The lilies come in this group. Another important group that comes here, which is very less explored, is the group of the grasses, the wheats, the oats, the rice. Yeah. And these are the grains that we eat on a daily basis, which helps our body to develop. So development is a very big thing in level 3, but this is not spiritual development or intellectual development. It's just developing into a full grown individual, developing as a role, as a person, as a girl, as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a father, as a husband, as a boy, as a man. So it's very simple physical and emotional development, but it's not really intellectual and spiritual development. That comes more in level 5. So people who are bothered about their daily affairs, their daily relationships, they're searching for freedom, or they are feeling restricted in their daily affairs. People who are not looking beyond the box, their everything is about their group and the relationships within the group. And mostly you get people from this level. This is level 3, mammals. Yeah. Some of the very important mammals in this group are Lacaninum, Lacaprinum. Yeah. Big herds. Yeah. Domesticated mammals. Sheep. The sheep, the dog. Yeah. Cow also has a bit of 3, but then has more of 4, the Lactifloratum. So herded mammals, people living in groups, people, and especially therefore, I also see that in Indian situations, level 3 and level 4 are very important, because in Indian societies, people are living in groups, or people love their groups, or people cannot think of getting out of their families or groups, or people are in a conflict of how to get out of the family or the group. Yeah. So this is level 3, and which is why in the recent years, I would say, as a homeopath, specifically with the Indian situations, I see a lot of level 3 cases, be it mineral, be it plant, be it animal. Yeah. And in animal, it's a lot of mammals and birds. And you will be surprised as to how much on a daily basis we see these remedies. Yeah. From this level. And the results are amazing. In severe pathologies, in autoimmune diseases, in thyroiditis, in goiters, yeah, Hashimoto's, arthritis, even CAs, carcinomas, yeah, metabolic disorders, diabetes, type 2. And we see level 3 as such a strong level, and remedies from this level helping patients to such great extent. Yeah. The next we come to level 4 and then level 5. Now I also want to tell you here just one more thing which I also mentioned at Ekai, and Shachindra and I both mentioned it, I think more than once, that with our Indian situation at the moment, yeah, where people are trying to find the balance between, the economy has developed and there is a lot of people trying to find balance between their group, their security, their dependence on the group, and how independent, how free, how much they can find themselves, yeah, between their dependence and their independence. You see that there is a lot of this conflict going on in the Indian society, be it towns, be it villages, be it cities. And this conflict has been helped and is giving rise, first of all, before being helped, this conflict is giving rise to a lot of autoimmune complaints, several endocrinological problems. Also, I forgot to mention the polycystic ovarian disease, prolactinomas, yeah, hormonal problems in women. All of this, it's giving rise to a lot of autoimmune diseases and endocrinological and metabolic problems. And we have seen that mammal and bird remedies of level 3 and level 4 have created such satisfying results and have helped people out of all these conflicts and have helped people find a balance between their freedom and their security. And of course, it has helped their physical problems and their blood levels and their reports and their ailments. So then we come to level 4. Yeah. Before we go to level 4, I told you the mammals and I told you some plants of level 3, but also imagine most of your practice has always been magnesium phos, natrum mur, natrum sulf, silica, phosphorus, sulfur. And these are minerals of level 3. It's just that over the last 8-10 years, Shachindra and I have found mammals and birds as well, which have similar mineral-like language and have helped people tremendously. Okay, and also plants. Now we're finding a lot of plants of level 3. Yeah. Now we go to level 4. This is another level where we see a lot of people who are stuck in. And this level is the level where the individual is not trying to find himself so much, but he is trying to protect or sustain or hold on to what he has found. So the adult always tries to, as a teenager, he tried to find who he was. He tried to rebel. He tried to, maybe not always rebel, but search who he was. This is level 3. Then you become an adult where you try to hold, sustain, and build on what is you. Yeah. So you go get a job. You go get security. You go build a house. You go have a bank balance. You get yourself a wife, a child, and you build materially on what you thought you were in level 3. So level 4 individuals are not so much focusing on finding themselves. They are focusing more on doing for themselves and for not everyone, but the people who they feel are part of them, part of their identity, part of their group. Yeah. So level 4 individuals will be individuals who will, they are not people who will tell you a lot about their childhood. This is not like level 3. Yeah, like your Kali carbonicum, Calcarea carbonicum, Cuprum ferrum. Yeah, Bryonia is a very good plant remedy of level 4. Yeah, cactus again is a very good plant remedy of level 4. Level 4 individuals, when they come to you with their complaints, they will focus on the physical complaint and how to get rid of it, because if they don't get rid of it, sorry, and if they don't get rid of it, how will they build for their family, for themselves, for how will they secure themselves? Their focus is on building and securing themselves and even their relationships. It's also a good remedy for people in the villages, the rural India, yeah, about building, yeah, about protecting, about routines. There are people who like routines, because if you don't do a routine, then you cannot build. For building something, for protecting something, there has to be discipline, there has to be routine. So these are people who like a lot of routine, a lot of building. Now, a lot of spiders, insects, the insect group and the spider group comes in level 4, because it's all about building routine. They're also very good at teamwork. I say level 4 individuals are good at taking orders. They're in terms of people who are under them. They won't delegate it to everyone, but if they are in an organization, they are very good in taking the orders from their seniors, and they are very good in keeping the people who are under them together and giving tasks to everyone. So delegation in that sense, compartmentalization, then building their finances, then keeping things in order, arsenicum, yeah, is a very important theme in level 4. But remember one thing, in level 4, there is also they are also hard-working people. They are workaholics. Level 3 people are not workaholics. They also like to work and they do a lot, but their focus is on relationships. Level 4 people express through their work. They cannot give you a card saying thank you or I love you. That's more level 3. Level 4 people will see to it that they have food on the table for you, that they have paid the bills for you, that they have paid the rents for you, that there is petrol in the car. This is a kind of level 4 way of expressing love. Doing, doing, doing. They're also very loving people, but their love is expressed through their work. Yeah. Lac defloratum is a level 4 mammal, and it's a very good remedy I have seen in the villages. It works beautifully for a lot of people from rural India, because the cow, the bull, the buffalo, the bovid group will do and do and do and will protect and secure their family. And at the same time, they are scared. They are scared that if they leave the group, what will happen? Bryonia, working, 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 and then gets tired. The most important symptom in bryonia is fever or complaints after overexertion, dreams of business. Yeah. And then when he gets tired, he cannot be disturbed anymore because he's totally exhausted from overdoing. Then comes level 5. Level 5 individuals is when you break the boundaries. In level 3, you're searching for your boundaries. In level 4, you are making them strong. Therefore, you like routines. Therefore, you like discipline. Therefore, you like security. Level 5 is going beyond boundaries. So in level 5 individuals, the feeling is, I have done my routine and I have done, or I am here not for just finding myself or doing a role. I am here with a purpose to do something more, to do something adventurous. Now, the adventure could be in the form of travel. It could be simply in the form of reading more books and, imparting knowledge to others. It could be in the form of writing poetry or, whatever. It could be in the form of just upgrading themselves, like somebody who's from one strata or from one situation makes a jump to another. Yeah. So it could also be that. Or it could be somebody who is trying to search spiritually, what is life all about? So it is actually breaking from the shackles or breaking from the boundaries or looking for the next level, looking for beyond the regular, the secure, what would you say? Secure boundaries. Yeah. They're also more tolerant. They are more investigating. They are more curious. Level 5 individuals are tolerant of others because they know that everyone has something new to offer. Level 3 individuals are looking at others for help and listen to others because they feel they need guidance. Level 4 individuals are, I have found out who I am, now I stick to it. Level 5 individuals are, I have found something new, maybe you have found something new as well. Let us talk. Let us find out what is different. Let us find out what is the meaning beyond these. So level 5 individuals, it's from level 5 that I see spirituality. 3 and 4 are religious. They're not spiritual. Level 5 is spiritual. What is spiritual? How is spiritual different from religious? Religion is when you follow what is given to you. Spiritual is when you search for what is religion. Then you search for what is the meaning behind what is written in the religious books. You don't do the rosary. You don't do the mala. You don't go to the temple. You don't fold your hands simply because that was what was taught to you. But you start asking yourself, why are you doing it? You want to find a reason. Or you want to make life better. Or you want to travel. Or you want to solve things. I also see that level 5 individuals a lot of times solve puzzles. Solve mathematic puzzles, solve crosswords, because it challenges them. This is something I don't know. Let me see if I can solve it. This is somewhere I can't reach. Let me see if I can push myself. Okay, so I would also say that level 5 individuals are individuals who push themselves to go beyond boundaries. Of course, we know this from Argentum, that they are performers. We know this from Stannum, that they are tired performers, exhausted performers. We know this from antimony. I'm talking of level 5 mineral remedies. The reason I start with minerals first is so that it's easy for you to connect. We know that antimony tart write poems. Yeah. Now, these are the minerals of level 5. The minerals of level 5 are very shiny, lustrous, precious metal. Silver, for example, is in level 5. Rhodium is in level 5. Palladium is in level 5. And these are very precious metals. A lot of your jewelry, you know, the gold jewelry, when it is white polish, then it's always rhodium polish. Silver, of course, is very beautiful. So there is this need to shine, outshine, challenge, adventure, luster. Now the animals in row 5, for example, the birds in row 5 are birds that can travel long distances, migratory birds that, you know, have their breeding season. Let's make it simpler than breeding and all. Their summer is in the northern continent, their winter is in the southern continent. Or their summer, so they cross continents. Or their summer is way high up in the Arctics, and then for winter they come closer to the equator. Yeah. There are flamingos here that come close to Bombay in Shivri. These flamingos are coming, they are flying all the way from South America right up to Mumbai, and they go further up north to Gujarat, a little northwest to Gujarat. Yeah. So this kind of desire to, imagine traveling continents for days and months together. Imagine the courage needed. Imagine the strength of the bird. Yeah. Lac equinum. Yeah, the horse. There is an old remedy from hippocampus or hippomenes. Sorry, not hippocampus. Hippomenes. Yeah. Which is also from the foal. Yeah. And so lac equinum, or from the horse, then we have lac delphinum from the dolphin, a very well-proved remedy, and many more. Camel is a remedy that we have often given from level 5. Deer is a remedy from level 5. Parrots, the parrot birds, yeah, are from level 5. Yeah. So this is the kind of animals and birds that are there in level 5. Minerals, of course, you know. The plants in level 5 are all from the rose family. It's a beautiful flower. Pears, plums, peaches, the fruits, because pears, plums, peaches, these are also rosids. Yeah. Then the ruta family, the vitamin C family. Coca. Yeah, we know the homeopathic remedy coca. The desire to achieve great heights, the desire to push beyond limits, the desire to, to challenge yourself. It's a good remedy for people who go through all this and who achieve great heights and great feats. Yeah. So that kind of a thing is in level 5. The plants, the minerals, the animals of level 5. Then we come to level 6. Level 6, yeah, I will tell you. Yeah, I will tell you the difference between 5 and lanthanide. Now, level 6 spirituality. First, let me explain level 6. Level 6, we have to understand the difference between 5 and 6. And therefore, it is also the difference between 5 and lanthanide. Is the difference between power and knowledge. Whether it's a lanthanide or whether it's a pure level 6 mineral, there is a desire for power. Whereas in 5, there is a quest for only knowledge. There is no quest for power. So it is about investigating, looking, curiosity, knowing something more. Performing is another thing with level 5. But once you come to level 6, which also has the lanthanides in it, you know, once you go beyond your boundaries and you've searched everything, that's level 5, you then start to develop a feeling that you know it all. Or that you can now lead the way to others. Or that you can now be the boundaries itself. You don't need to break, you don't need to search, you don't need to follow, you don't need to, you create the boundaries. That feeling of power makes it lanthanide or level 6. And therefore you have less and less people, you know, as you go down, there are less people of level 6 than level 3 and 4. The reason is, imagine if everyone was 6, the world would be in chaos. The ecosystem always has lesser and lesser people or lesser and lesser animals on the top of the food chain. Yeah, there'll be chaos if everyone wants power. I mean, there's already enough chaos with the amount of people who want power in the world. We cannot have more. Yeah. So, for example, in the ecosystem, there's much more of deer and much more of smaller, you know, sheep and goats and animals. And there is only a few tigers and a few cheetahs and a few leopards. Or a few eagles, but many more sparrows. You get my point? So as you go down the levels, there is the people needing those remedies will reduce. So you have more people from the 3rd and 4th level than from the 5th and then from the 6th. We still have a lot of people from 5th, especially when we are looking at cities and metropolises. Then you see more level 5, because these are the people who break the routine, who break the village rules, who break the norms and want to try something different. And there's much more need for freedom. But then there are the level 6 ones, who are people who create the boundaries for others, who decide the rules for others and for themselves. Now, what is then the difference between the lanthanide and the level 6? Because the lanthanide is part of level 6. So power is a big issue for the lanthanide as well. But the lanthanide is not looking for power outside, he's searching for power within. Therefore, to just explain your question, what is that? Plant related to level 2. I'll just answer that as well. Yeah, maybe you can just write, no, the pipers, the opiums. The level 6, what was I going to say? The difference between lanthanide and row 6, right? No, lanthanide and 5 spirituality. 5 is looking for spirituality in the way, is this really religion that's written? Maybe there is something more. Maybe there is another need for this kind of a rule or a law. Maybe there was something much more relevant in those times. Let me read about it. Yeah, and then let me follow it. Let me look at another religion as well and see what is good in that. Let me look at transregression. Let me look at past life. They are searching. Lanthanide spirituality is, once I know all of this, then I can decide and I become powerful within to call the shots for myself. I control myself and I will have that immense power on my own self. So their need for spirituality is also power, but it's a spiritual power. Now let's put it like this. Row 5 plants, just to give you an example, row 5 plants are, as I said, the roses and the cocas, the geraniums, the rutas. In row 6 or in lanthanide specifically, we have the China or the coffee family. Now, what was the coffee and China from the same family, Rubiaceae, right? And Rubiaceae belongs to the 6th level in the plants under the larger asteroids. We won't go into all of that at the moment, but just to tell you, what is China? China is where homeopathy started. I'm talking of China, the plant, quinine. And homeopathy itself is a very lanthanide science. Your body can heal itself. The law of similar states that when something from outside, which is similar in nature but different in source, comes into your body as a medication and helps your vital force finds its own power and own way to health. So the whole science of homeopathy is a very lanthanide science where the power to heal is within the body. And no wonder, as I put everything on the map, we realize that the China family or the Coffea family with ideas and thoughts belongs to the Rubiaceae, which belongs to the lanthanide according to our work. It belongs to the lanthanide. So the spirituality of the lanthanide is a powerful spirituality, a power hungry, but the power hunger is not in the negative sense where it's power over others, it's power over self. That is the difference between lanthanide and row 5. Literally, lanthanide is between 5 and 6.
So you won't see lanthanide like characters trying for power or trying to impose powers or having big groups and big followings and things like that, because they are not looking for that kind of power, but they are looking at power from within. You see, these people are much more spiritually and inwardly inclined. And that is the main differentiation between the power or spirituality of row 6 and row 7 and that of the lanthanides.
Just very quickly, row 2 plants, you have the piper plant, the spice family, yeah, Piper nigrum, Piper methysticum. Then you have the opium family, yeah, morphine, yeah. So then you also have the nutmeg, the jaifal, yeah, nux, this family. So you have a lot of the families where there is cinnamon. Cinnamon also belongs to level 2. There is a lot of addiction. There is a lot of stimulation. There is a lot of physical sensation, basic stimulation. Yeah. Okay. So this was level 6. Now level 7 is the last and then we wind up for the day. Level 7 is really a realization level. It's almost sometimes difficult for us to decide whether this is a level 7 case or a level 1 case. They are so similar because 7 loops back to 1. And level 7 individuals are individuals who have realized that they are breaking down. You know, you collect, and then you come to an age when you say, what is the use of collecting all of this? I'm finally weakening and I'm finally going to go back to where I belonged. So that realization of life and death, of the journey of power from nothing to everything and then going back into nothing is a level 7 individual's conflict. Yeah. Now level 7 therefore has fungi. The fungus group is basically, we all know fungi are saprophytes. What are saprophytes? Saprophytes are neither plants nor animals, and they are organisms like the fungus which thrive on dead matter. So life from death. Yeah. They are also organisms that thrive after a radioactive or thrive in a radioactively charged region. Yeah, so they have something to do with resistance and resilience in a radioactive atmosphere as well. So, and when we look at level 7 in the minerals, you have the actinides, which are extremely actinized, as well as the level 7 remedies, which are totally radioactive. And radioactivity itself, if you look at some of our old videos with the mineral kingdom and the 7 rows of the minerals, you will see much more in that. Today I'm just going to make it brief. Radioactivity is in a way a realization of everything dispersing and going back into nothing. Yeah. So in level 7, you have highly spiritual people who've actually realized that there is no power within, which is why also level 7 remedies like uranium nitricum or plutonium or radium bromatum are extremely good remedies for cancer, because cancer is the realization of powerlessness and also the realization of futility and the end of everything. Okay, so this was a brief understanding of the 7 levels. Beyond this, we will now start from the next seminars and the next webinars. We will start giving you through cases much more glimpses of how to understand the patient on that level and then the remedy of that level.
I hope all of you enjoyed our second free webinar. The next class will be on June 18, 2017. Yeah. And those of you, you can share these links that we share with you to all your friends and colleagues so that they all can learn. And we'll be posting the link for all of you very soon. And people who are watching the webinars from different parts of the world, you're welcome to join our monthly tonic as well, which begins next in 2 weeks time. So learn and grow. All the best. Bye-bye.